Welcome to the latest installment of the Run to Daylight podcast. I am your host, Todd Burrows, and today I am joined by friend Dave Terpolli, obviously a Philly native with the 41 to 33 in the background.
You know it.
I noticed he did not have in the background the game against the Chiefs.
Did not. Unfortunately, that was a sad moment, but that will not be in the background tonight.
No, but Dave actually works at times with the FFPC. This podcast is brought to you by my friends over at the FFPC. I am doing a live best ball tonight. I will not be going live. I might tape it and do
what time? Just curious.
9:30. I'm in the 9:30.
See you there.
Are you in there?
I'm on incognito. I'm drafting with a couple friends, but we're in there. 9:30 from the 8 slot.
I think I'm in the 9 or 10.
Oh, great! Right next to each other. Austin Martin, I think, is in the 10 slot or 11 slot. So we'll have one big happy family.
It's a beautiful thing. So I'm showing you guys the main page of the FFPC. You can see there are $2 million first prizes, and then sliding across the $300,000 best ball tournament. I'll have at least 35 entries in that to go with my 10 or so that I did beforehand. I will be drafting a main event and probably one more football guys as well. You can go to myffpc.com to check it out. And once you do, get into some of those live FFPC best balls and you might see me in the room. All right. So that is the business at hand. And now I am going to switch over because we are going to do a draft on the fantasy that is underdog. And let's see, did that show up? It did. Let me get in there. If you guys have questions, I will be checking in. But Dave and I are going to be doing a best ball mania. You can see I got 26 left.
God bless you, man.
Oh, I'm light compared. Oh, man. There are 10 spots open. So we could get.
Perfect.
Actually, I'm pulling out. No, I won't. I like when
You're
I
the
don't
first
like
one, your last one.
Well, no, because we'll be talking and we'll get our asses sniped repeatedly by doing it that way. But if you want to do a draft with Dave and I, you can
come join the fun.
Yeah, there are 5 or 6 left, and I will be checking the comments. I also use the Spike Week tools. So you'll be able to see my exposures and all sorts of things. And that makes it a little bit bigger. Hold on, Dave. I'm going to make it so that you can see it. Can you see it a little better now?
Yeah, I should be good there. I'll squint if I have to.
Yeah.
It's way better than it was. Maybe one more if you can.
I will not be able to manage it if it's any bigger.
Oh, that's fine then.
But I did that.
That's good. That'll work. I can see it. I pretty much know this stuff by heart anyway.
All right.
We draw.
It looks like we got the end of the stick. The number 10. So the way that I do it, Dave, and I do not see the Spike Week tools loading. It's still loading. I'm going to try and speed that up. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't mind the 10. Because
I think it's great. I think there's 10 that are really stand out.
Yeah.
Even an underdog. I mean, it's just
and those are the 10 for me. It ends with Garrett Wilson. You agree?
1000% agree.
All right. So
very easy there.
I don't see anyone that I know in the room.
You do the same thing I do. Every time I get in one of these rooms, I try to see if I see, the Justin Herzigs of the world or the Liam Murphys of the world. And
I like it when I see. So, just so you can understand the Spike Week tools, I put in the playoff view and for week 17. So as we get correlations, you will see them show up here. You can see my ownership. So In the Best Ball Mania, I own 11% of CD Lamb. Can you see those numbers?
I can. Yep.
7% on the slate. The percentage with quarterback 1, that'll fill in quarterback 2, with running back 1, wide receiver 1, round 1, and round 2. So
Perfect.
that you can really get I really highly recommend the Spike Week tools. I'm hoping I like it, and you can see I've got 12% Garrett Wilson, 10% AJ Brown, 14% Bijan, 8% JJ. Amon-Ra's the guy I've been fading, 4%, and 9% for Jamar Chase. So
we are on the same boat with a lot of these guys. St. Brown is definitely the guy that I'm also fading. I mean, I guess you could say that. I mean, I love the player, nothing against him. You know, I don't think he's going to be a bust or anything like that. I just don't like him compared to some of the guys that are in his range. I mean, I just like the Browns, the Wilsons, the Jeffersons, and obviously, you know, Jamar Chase a little bit more if he gets into camp.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind if Amon-Ra fell, because I like to be at least at 5%.
Your exposures are something I learned a lot over, you know, talking to you, and like, because when I first like got into best ball, like you'd be like, all right, I'm just going to draft my guys. Like this draft, you know, I'll just use a perfect example this year. Like I'm going to draft 75% Chase Brown. And then, yeah, if Chase Brown hits, it's great. But if he doesn't, I mean, you're setting yourself up in best ball as just a nightmare. So
yeah, and more importantly is injury.
Of course, injured, yeah.
And you made the comment about Amon-Ra St. Brown. It's not that he's bad.
No.
You just like these other guys a little more.
His ceiling to me is just less than the other guys.
But if AJ Brown gets hurt week 1 and you have 40% of him,
you're done.
Right. So yeah, then you're done. So the difference early between you can see I've got 22% with Marvin Harrison, 20 with Drake London. I really don't draft the running backs here. So I'm going to put Debo in. I'm going to put Nico in. I will put Neighbors in. And I will put Cup in. And you can pick. We're up next. You can tell me which guy you want of those 4.
If I had to select, it would be Is Olave? Are you not an Olave guy?
No.
Neither am I. So that's good. Okay. So based off those 3 guys, if it would be Malik Neighbors.
All right. I'm good with that. I do wanted a little more Debo, but I love Neighbors. So
yeah, it would be Neighbors, Debo, and then Collins is a distant third.
All right. So now you see we're 18 picks away. 1, 2, 3. And you can see how orange is the color of the first round pick.
Where are you at on Jonathan Taylor? Curious.
I know 4%.
I don't even have that. I think I have 2%.
It's just I don't go below 5% on to 4 to 5% is the lowest I go, because like I said, if the people around him get hurt, you want to have a little bit
just in case. You don't full fade anybody.
Not this early.
Not this early. That's one thing I learned from you too, talking over the years. You know, I would just take stands and you know, the first couple rounds and just be like, yeah, I'm not drafting this guy. And yeah, if it works out, great. But if that guy turns into like a Christian McCaffrey last year, who I didn't have a lot of, you put yourself so behind the 8 ball, and you're really good teams without Christian McCaffrey don't get in because he has the kind of year that just sets him apart.
Yeah, exactly. And again, it's more to me about injury. Injury is far worse early than any player take you could have, because the guys who go that early are so good.
Yeah, of course. They're going there for a reason.
Yep. Absolutely.
Whether you like them or not, I mean, they're there for a reason. So, I mean, the guys like Barkley, the Taylor that nobody seems to want to draft, the Derrick Henrys of the world that kind of just falling down draft boards, they're there for a reason. It's just,
yeah, and I take a little bit.
Yeah,
but
I'm the same way.
You know, all right, we got a question. Hello, good luck for your draft and enjoy. Best regards from Germany. I am now in an FFPC Superflex, and after this in the best ball tournament draft. See you there in the playoffs. You got it, dude.
Yeah, seriously. You messing around with Superflex at all?
No.
I don't. I did a little bit last year, but I try to stick to best ball, and then I kind of cut best ball off at a certain point, probably around Wednesday of next week, and then I get into like heavy redraft mode, fantasy pros, and I have like four main events next week.
Do a lot of those anymore. Again, me and Bip did about 8 or 10 of them,
Of course.
and Bip's not doing it this year. So I really like T. Higgins here, Pacheco's here, Diggs is here, Mahomes is here, Rashee Rice.
The rise of Rashee Rice.
Yeah.
Where do you stand? Where do you stand on him, just percentage wise?
All right, we're up. So to me,
I lean Higgins.
Yeah,
Higgins.
Me too. Because if Chase holds out, I need a little bit more Higgins.
Yeah, I'm not a big Higgins guy either. So to me, if you need anybody, it's definitely Higgins.
Yep. And then Cooper. So I'll fill the queue with guys I don't hate. And, we could have considered Pittman with Neighbors for that week 17.
17, yeah.
So if he makes it back, I think he's a no-brainer.
He's definitely a no-brainer if he makes it back. I'm not really that. I don't really get crazy about Pickens.
I got 6% Pittman. Diggs is there too, but I think with the correlation, Pittman.
I agree, Pittman. Yep.
All right, so we got 4 wide receivers.
Now, I love zero RB teams in underdog, man. It's your teams just look so much better. I don't. If you're going running back early, or running back with 2 of your first 4 picks, I'm not saying you can't win that way, because you can win anyway drafting. But some of them just the look of the team, like when that wide receiver cliff comes, you could be in some big trouble if those guys are the Cortland Suttons of the world, or your 3rd, 4th receivers instead of your 5th and 6th receivers. And that's nothing against Cortland Sutton, who I always have a love for.
Yeah, I am less in love with him.
Where do you Xavier Worthy? I mean, he's definitely a guy that's going to be coming up here soon. I mean, I don't think talking about him is going to change anything.
No, I think with 4 wide receivers and no Mahomes, but I've got 10% of him, so I do like him. So we'll see who
he's definitely. If there was one player that I fear, like, not having a lot of exposure to, it's him. I had a lot of Hollywood Brown.
I think he's going to be limited by the fact that he's a rookie, and that you still got Kelsey, you got Rashee Rice, and Hollywood's coming back. But I started very low on Worthy, and I've gotten into a positive position because he's going to have some big weeks.
He's definitely going to have some big weeks. You just got to hope, if you don't have a ton of bags of him, that it's not early in the season. He just gets like that role that's like secure. You want him to hit that little rookie wall, with Andy Reid, and hopefully, misses some snaps because he's making rookie mistakes type of stuff. Because if he doesn't, and he does, how well he's looked in the preseason, obviously it's preseason, which means nothing. I mean, he could be a ridiculous league winner where he's getting drafted.
So Kincaid is there, who has a correlation. There goes Kincaid. Richardson is there, who obviously goes with Pittman and Neighbors. I like Pickens. Not a big James Cook guy, but I would take him. I'm okay with, there goes Kyle Pitts. And I'm okay with Rachaad White or Kenneth Walker, because running back has gotten a little thinner. So what are your thoughts?
I think Anthony Richardson's the play. I mean, I think there's a chance he comes back if we want to play a little Russian roulette. But I also, if it's not him, it would be Kenneth Walker for me. The teams after us, do they have quarterbacks?
No. But
I think it's worth the gamble.
None of them have correlations either.
I think it's worth the gamble.
You like Walker more? Cook has a correlation with.
I mean, I'm more of a Cook guy than most. I think he's fallen in drafts unfairly. I know people.
I only have 3%. I think we should go Cook. He has that correlation with Wilson.
James Cook, it is. I love a good correlation.
All right, and
I think he's getting bad mouth a little bit.
Oh, great! Now my computer went down.
That's never a good thing. But the good thing is we'll get Cook, and hopefully we'll get Richardson right after.
What the hell, man? This is so irritating when this happens.
It happens every once in a while.
All right, I did it on my phone.
Okay, good. So we got Cook.
We couldn't update your queue. Did my internet go out again?
Looks like it.
Unbelievable.
Always goes out at the worst time.
Yeah, but we're talking.
Yeah. Something's weird. Maybe just log in and log out.
I don't think that's going to do it.
Probably not, but maybe it's an underdog thing. Did Richardson make it?
We're up next. No, Richardson didn't make it. Rashad White, Godwin, or Mixon?
I would say Mixon.
Okay.
Without looking at anything, I would say Mixon. Rashad White's also a guy that I don't have that much of this year. Is it an underdog thing? There we go. We're back.
No, that's... all right, I'm taking Mixon. So we got two running backs.
Two running backs. We're good there. I think the gamble on Richardson makes a lot of sense. I mean, trust me, I love the player, but my fear with Richardson is the fear that everybody has with Richardson. Is he going to make it through the season? That's where if he makes it through the season, you can easily paint a picture of QB1.
Yeah, I've got plenty of.
And the guy that took him looks like different league. Never mind.
All right, so let's see now if my spike week is loading. Good. So 1, 2, with 16 picks away.
Yeah, none of those guys are making it. I love the winking dream now.
Well,
I don't have much
this is
JSN.
just
Where do you stand with the Seattle guys?
I like JSN a lot. I like Metcalf.
Metcalf's my highest owned. I don't have any Lockett. Not any that's worth talking about. I need to start getting some more JSN as we get later. He's still cheap enough to where he's getting a lot of positive press. I just seem to always be drafting Christian Watson in that same number. He's my obsession. I can't let it go. Where do you stand on the Green Bay guys? Are you a Wicks guy?
I'm sorry. I'm just trying to.
You're good.
Okay, the hacker came back on. If Joe Burrow makes it back, he would be good.
That makes a ton of sense.
I don't have as much Burrow.
I don't have any of Burrow, so I'm all about that.
I think we're good at running back for a little bit. I wouldn't mind Addison. I don't mind late tight end right now.
I did one of these earlier, and I think the last 3 picks I took 3 tight ends. It's obviously a risky strategy, but I feel like after Pat Freiermuth, the next tier is kind of ugly. And people can put Freiermuth in there. That's fair.
I agree. I have a tier break at Freiermuth, and when I get an early tight end, I've been taking Hawkinson as my number 2 a lot.
Which makes a ton of sense. I haven't drafted much Hawkinson, but with that, if you're going to take Hawkinson, it's with that build. It's with the Kincaid, McBride, Pitts.
Yeah, and I had a guy on the Moxie on the Spike Week channel. He was the one who put that in my brain. So shout out to the Mox.
Makes a ton of sense. I mean, if you're building a Hawkinson with Hunter Henry, Theo Johnson, that doesn't make any sense. I mean, the logic behind it is you want TJ Hawkinson to be there when it counts because you're not going to count him probably for 8 weeks. By the time
and if you get lucky, he's back before the bye.
Yeah, and if you get lucky, he's back before the bye, but that's probably unlikely. And if and you want to take him a game or so probably to get back. He should come back and be the second receiver on that team, mixed in with him and Addison, obviously with Jefferson leading the pack. So it's Evan Ingram makes a lot of sense here to me, but I also am good with Burrow. I mean, I don't know about the 2 guys after.
I don't have a lot of Ingram. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, I'm good with Ingram. I feel like that's
and Burrow slips a lot. I was just looking to see
We know one of those guys have Richardson, so
yeah, they don't, and they don't. And this guy's got 2 quarterbacks
opposite
already.
side of Jamar Chase, so we should be fine there.
Yeah. All right.
Now
So
it's Burrow. I think that's pretty self-explanatory.
Yep. All right. So we're 1-2-4-1, which means I like to pound if I can get a good wide receiver, and then we're heading into that range where I really love the running backs.
I agree. This is where the running backs are just, to me, just juicy. I mean, it's really hard not to like some of these guys because the Pollards, the Chase Browns, the Stevensons, we can get Brian Robinsons of the world, guys like that. I mean, these 0 RB teams, these are going to be your guys. And if they pan out to be what I know you and me both think some of them are going to be, I mean, you could be looking at some monster builds.
Yeah. In the old days, when you did 0 running back, you were just getting speculative guys for the most part and hoping that they hit. When you're getting in the 11th round, 10th round, Tony Pollard,
Exactly.
Tajay Spears, Chase Brown. You're getting guys who are, guaranteed workloads and talented as well.
And the thing with these builds are like a build when you're going full 0 RB, you can take both Pollard and Spears.
I do.
I do too. I just did this morning.
I take both Brian Robinson and
Eckler. You could do Chase Brown and Zach Moss if you want. I mean, they're all cheap enough to where they're not.
I've done a couple of those. I've done Najee and Jaylen Warren.
I've done that too.
And Jaylen Warren is the best value on the board because his hamstring dropped him about 15 picks.
People hate him because of the injury.
And I think he's going to be there long enough. But right now, Pollard is my favorite. I've been adding him a lot lately.
I agree.
And he's got that correlation with Engram. He's got a correlation week 16 and week 15. To me, he's the clear pick here if he makes
100% if he makes it. I agree.
But we're 11 picks away, so we're going to probably hate life.
One can dream. I had a FFPC draft this morning, 12, with a friend of mine. 12 slot, man, that's painful. Painful.
Yeah.
It is painful.
I think that's what I have tonight.
It worked out. I think the team's pretty solid overall, but it's not even just you obviously have the top 10 guys and you're picking at the end. I mean, you just sit there and wait and just watch value after value after value just get taken off the board. We were in there with Hubbard.
Yeah, that's what I have. That's what I have tonight when we draft together.
Yeah, we're in the 8th spot.
That's gonna suck.
Yeah, it's definitely difficult because those guys don't leave any value out there. Yeah, they try to get a little tricky with some of their teams, but I mean, I was just sitting there going, I'm talking to my friend who
I don't see Austin in there.
Yeah, he's 10 or 11, I think he is. I think if we're in the same draft, which I think we are. Let me see.
I see Balkman.
I'm girl dads. You see girl dads in there?
No.
Then you're not in my league. How'd you pull that one off?
I think. Well, mine's been closed for a day. You probably.
Oh yeah. No. It's different then. You're lucky. Yeah, Austin's in mine. Lucky me. You want to switch?
All right. So we didn't get. Why don't we take Tajay?
Yeah, makes a ton of sense.
Same
correlation with Ingram. I like it.
And now we're 4 picks away. Singletary, Brian Robinson, Javonte. I like Wicks. I don't mind Dubs if he falls, but I prefer and I don't mind Jacoby Myers. So I would like to get one of these 3 with Javonte. You see how in blue that's with Burrow?
Yeah.
I think Javonte, and then if we don't get him, Singletary.
I agree. I'm good with that. I mean, I don't have much Javonte, so anytime I can add him right now, I'm good with it.
All right. So we're 1-4-4-1. So next pass through, we're good at running back for a while. James Cook, Mixon, Spears, and Javonte. We've got our early wide receivers, 4 in the first 4 rounds.
Yeah.
10, 15, 30. Yep. So I mean, this team is well built right now.
Yes, it is. No issues whatsoever. So I asked you earlier, and before we had the computer issues, where do you stand on the Packers guys, receivers? I mean, obviously 4 guys.
I've had Wicks all along. I definitely like Watson. I think he's a good
You
pick.
weren't on Watson last year, if I remember correctly.
I was not, but he was going in the 4th round last year.
Oh my God! Probably by me in every draft.
Now, I think he's a guy I mix in depending on the team. He goes right with Deontay Johnson, who I also like. I also like Musgrave, and I like Tucker Kraft.
Tucker Kraft's, a lot of positivity from this week in camp, and I know that's take that for a grain of salt, but I mean, if you're doing a 3 tight end build, you could do a lot worse than Tucker Kraft in the 18th round. And one thing in a contest like this, Tucker Kraft wasn't drafted a ton in these, and if you can get a guy who's different, who's going to have value, I mean, you gain an advantage on the field if Tucker Kraft turns into the tight end 1 of the Green Bay Packers, because how much percent of the field doesn't own any Tucker Kraft, no matter in the draft?
Well, I'm going to tell you in all my contests. Let's see. See if I can find where that is on my Spike Week tools. Nothing wants to work today.
Yeah, it's okay. It's usually how it works. You know who looks good in the preseason so far? The Jacksonville Jaguars.
Yeah, they could be good. I like Gabe Davis late.
See, Gabe Davis is the one guy that I've been on the Brian Thomas brand bandwagon. ETN's always been a favorite of mine, and Ingram obviously had probably one of the quietest fantasy football seasons in history last year. If he was scored more touchdowns, he probably would have been a 1st-round pick this year. How far are we away? We still got a little bit. 6. I mean, if Singletary comes all the way back, I mean, we could close the room with him with the correlation with.
I doubt he makes it back, but if he does.
I doubt it either, but if he does, it makes sense. He's kind of boring.
I can't figure this out. I mean, Singletary is a smash if he makes it back. If he doesn't, I would like, I'd like to hit a wide receiver, but
I think Jalen Polk makes sense.
Yeah, I like Polk. That's a good one. I like him more than Brandon Cooks.
Just went. Mooney makes some sense. I mean, if we have no correlation with that, no.
That's okay. Not everyone has to. Oh, Mooney has got the Giants week 15.
Okay, that's good.
I kind of don't mind Eckler Polk. Let's go Polk.
Yeah, I agree. Polk makes a ton of sense here. And then if Eckler comes back, I think that makes a ton of sense to close the room.
I also don't mind Dobbins, taking him lately.
I don't have a lot of Dobbins, and also back to where do you stand on taking Hawkinson here, like with Ingram?
I think that's a great idea.
I mean, it's based off what you said, and it makes a ton of sense, and it's definitely.
I don't know that it makes more sense than taking Eckler.
No. If Eckler makes it here, it's Eckler's the pick, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Where do you?
So Eckler or Hawk?
It would be Eckler or Hawk, definitely. That's definitely.
Eckler just went.
Yeah.
Unless you want Dobbins, who is a week 5. Let's go Hawk.
I mean, I like Dobbins. I still am in my brain saying that somehow the Chargers running back that we want is not on the team yet.
I mean,
or it's one of those guys like the Spillers, the Pattersons.
That's how I felt early. But what ended up happening was, as time has gone on, I said, I'm doing a lot better this year at, well, what if I'm wrong?
Yeah. That's the hard part. That's a hard question to ask yourself when you're doing these. You
But
just
what
don't
if I'm
figure if
wrong?
we're wrong.
And if I am wrong, I'm going to take tight end out because we don't need any more.
No. Is there any quarterbacks?
Quarterbacks, we got Daniel Jones late. We got Aaron Rodgers. We've got Drake May.
Trevor Lawrence is gone.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gone.
Yeah, he's at Kirk Cousins' range, so he's definitely.
Ray Davis. That way you get both Cook and Davis. That wouldn't
makes
bother
a ton of
me.
sense, and it's not overly expensive.
Rodgers makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
If Rodgers
and Jones makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I think this could be a 3 quarterback build.
I'm okay without that because you don't need the quarterback to have the stack.
No. That's a big mistake that sometimes I do make.
Yeah.
In my brain, if I don't get the quarterback.
If we take Rodgers here, I'm not saying I won't take Jones. Like if we get to the 18th round and he's still there.
I agree.
I'll fill out the rest of my build. And then if it makes sense, I will consider him. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. Jalen Tolbert's my number 1 overall player. So you don't have to ever talk to me about Jalen Tolbert. I drafted him. I think I'm at 27% right now, Jalen Tolbert.
My number one, you did better than me. My number 1's Javon Baker.
He's very close behind. He's definitely the guy that
Ray Davis is my number 2 guy.
Chase Brown's up there. Who's the other? I just looked. My other running back that was pretty highly owned. Who the heck was it?
So I would definitely take Davis over Rodgers because we have the backstop of Jones.
100% agree there. Ty Chandler.
I like Ty Chandler.
Yes. I planted my flag with Chandler versus Aaron Jones. I like Aaron Jones.
I got both. I got 16% Ty Chandler, which is a lot for me.
We're up. So
there goes Ray Davis.
Yeah. I think.
And we also lost Rodgers. Someone must,
Oh, wow.
And what's interesting about that is if it's someone watching us, they've got no Jets.
No.
And,
we're on the clock. So, yeah, we're going to get Braylon Allen. I think we just auto. Did we get Braylon Allen? That's okay.
Dang it.
It happens.
It came up so quick.
It's not like it's that egregious.
No. So Bateman or Tolbert, Bateman makes more sense for this build.
I agree. It makes sense. I love Tolbert more, but it doesn't really matter.
I need more Tolbert, but Bateman had the correlation and, Tolbert has been going a lot later than this.
Yes.
So you're not getting any value.
No.
No,
I agree with you totally. It's hard to click the Tolbert button right now. It's not harder than some of these other guys, but you got to realize that so many guys in this contest have 18th round Jalen Tolbert. That really doesn't matter. We're talking about 18th round, 14th round. I don't think it's that big of a deal.
It's not, but when you also don't have the correlation,
I agree.
You've got a guy like Bateman who is on a better offense, possibly.
Yeah, it's a big differentiation.
You've got a lot of factors in your favor. And all things being even, I would have taken Tolbert.
Of course. I agree with you too. 1,000%. All right. Let's see. I think Darnold makes sense, obviously. My only fear with a Darnold pick is, does he make it through the whole season when it matters? Is he the guy in week 17?
Well, I think you could go Darnold and then come back with Jones on this build.
Is there anything we could build with? Can we build a Mayfield McMillan?
That would be kind of sketchy.
I agree. Deshaun Watson can't
If
really build
I
anything with
had
him.
Carolina, but to build
Yeah,
a back end stack with no
nothing.
correlations,
Yeah,
and you might not even get it, and you're getting the third best guy.
I agree. I'm just trying to think of any other tricky ways we can build this. Gino doesn't make sense. Is there anything we can do with Bo Nix?
Oh yeah, you could always get Bo Nix, but let's just see who makes it back.
I think we got 11 left. Love Marshawn Lloyd. He's at a price now where it's worth the risk, in my opinion. Obviously,
Well,
Dylan.
we've already got 5. We're
Yeah,
only going to
we're
take
probably
6.
done at the receiver. I'm just player, mostly
Yeah,
player.
I don't mind Bo Nix because we've got Cincinnati, but I mean, Drake May is a possibility at quarterback.
They're definitely two of my highest owned quarterbacks when it comes to. I would say FFPC. Bo Nix, I think, is right behind Will Levis, up in the highest ranked territory. Just because if I'm building the 3 quarterbacks, which if I don't get one of the studs, I usually do. He's just so cheap, and you can build it so different way. And if you get the correlation mixed in, it just makes too much sense. And people are starting to realize that, but I don't know. Both May and Nix to me make a ton of sense. In week 14 buys, I don't really care about that.
So, so Darnold went. So to me, I don't know what this guy's going to do, and I don't want to say, but I think what we need to do here is pretty obvious.
Yes.
In fact, I'm jonesing for him to make it back to me.
I think he makes it. He made it. Yeah.
All right. So, I mean, I'm okay with it just being 2 quarterbacks, or if a third makes it back. To me, the next guy is Yoshi.
Yes. 100% agree with you there. He's getting a lot of run with the
If
ones.
Yoshi doesn't make it back, I think Quentin Johnston has fallen enough.
Yeah, he's pretty much in close to getting.
And there goes Yoshi. Damn.
That's okay. Were you the Jermaine Burton early crowd, or were you just?
I got talked into a little. I had none of him in early best ball. I'm at 6%.
That's a good number.
But
just in case.
I got talked into him a little bit, and all right, Quentin Johnston.
Yep, I'm with it. Just hate the player, but if they can figure out a way to just unlock something, he is a good value, but hated him last year coming out, and I just don't. But the receiver room is just very ugly. Guys that are okay. I'm not really the biggest Lad McConkey guy. Palmer is a guy that's probably my highest owned out of the bunch. Won't draft DJ Chark. The tight ends are blah. Running backs, we talked about them already, kind of blah. What do we have? 3 picks left? 2 picks left.
So I think we could use another running back.
I agree. Probably makes a lot of sense. Where are you at on Malachi Corley?
I'm really not drafting him. I've been drafting a lot of Tim Patrick lately.
You just can't trust Sean Payton. It looks like he's going with these older guys. They just hate Marvin Mims.
Yeah, I had a lot of Troy Franklin, who I liked a lot coming out.
I remember you talking about how much you liked them.
Yep, he is not paid off. And then I switched to Mims, and now I'm on to Patrick. So the answer will probably be Reynolds.
Reynolds was a guy that I was adding a little bit early, but there's so many of them. Like 2 of them could get cut, and you wouldn't even think any different. because I mean, Sean Payton, who knows who's going to be the running back? You think it's going to be Javonte, but I mean, who knows? All those four guys could be, if they keep P. Ryan around. We got two left, right?
Yep.
We got 2 quarterbacks, 5 running backs, 2 tight ends.
And there's really not a lot of running backs left that I like.
No.
I think Bigsby would be a good choice here. And I also really like this Carson Steele guy.
Carson Steele makes a ton of sense to me. It looks like he's going to be the backup unless, maybe they add somebody.
I think he's going to be a fullback. I think he's going to get some touchdowns.
And if
Pacheco goes down,
it's wide open.
All right, I'm going to take Carson Steele over Bigsby.
I agree.
All right, and then we don't want another one of those.
No.
I think that Drake May makes sense. Tim Patrick makes sense. Darius Slayton can make sense, but I don't think you need Slayton. I'll let you make the choice. Drake May.
Drake May. I think it just makes sense for this build. I mean,
yeah, we don't count on him, and it gives us an extra quarter.
He has that rushing upside that I think he's going to get the job sooner than later. I hope he's the starter. That would be really great because
he won't be.
He won't be because
it's a 3-6-7-2 build. Joe Burrow, Daniel Jones, Drake May. You can see how correlated this is. 6 running backs. We've got 7 wide receivers, but we have our first 4 round picks, and Ingram and TJ Hawkinson. So that does it for the draft. Henry Muto said, sup.
Always a pleasure, Henry.
And Dave, I'll say the same to you. I'm going to lie down a little bit before my next draft, and I got to pick my daughter up. Yep.
Good luck.
And always a pleasure, my friend.
Yes, sir.
Hold on. We got one question.
I like questions.
Go ahead, Dave. You take that first.
It really just comes down to at the end, if you're going to do a onesie, like a Drake May type of situation, he has the rushing ability. I would never do it if it wasn't like, if you're talking about like Russell Wilson or somebody like that. I feel like with Fields and May, it just gives you another out. It's just always been my mentality. If I'm going to do the onesie position, that's just the way I think.
So for me, best ball on call, and thank you very much for the question. To me, it's first off, I look at the strength of the 2 quarterbacks I have, and then I look at my other positions to make sure that each one of those positions have enough strength. So I typically would prefer an 8th wide receiver, but since we went 4 wide receivers in the first 4 rounds, and Drake May is a high upside quarterback late, who we also had a rookie high-end second round guy, and we had him correlated with a Charger. To me, that tipped the scale toward Drake May. Hopefully that answers your question. One of us, the way we did. Dave, any final thoughts?
Good draft. Very happy with it. I'm glad to finally get together and get on one of these with you.
Absolutely. If you want to go the other way and pull one up on your account and on your pod, let me know.
We'll definitely do that.
And that's going to do it, guys. Thanks as always for following. And 2 weeks to go. Keep your focus. Play your game. Don't let information push you off of strongly held beliefs without really checking to make sure that you will feel good. I always think to myself, if I let this decision, if I get off of this guy, do I really believe I should? And by asking myself that this year, I think I'm a better basketball player. So have a good night, Dave.
I agree. See you guys.